The number one genre of books sold in the world today is romance. And why is this? Because women everywhere are no longer seduced by men. Because men no longer seduce their wives. Because we settle. We settle in our careers and our relationships and all aspects of our lives. We color everything beige and we call it good enough. Women everywhere are asking, where are the real men? And the men are over here in the corner with their beige careers, their beige relationships, and their beige attempts at lovemaking, saying, oh well, it's good enough. This is how we live our lives, somnambulating, devoid of any real passion, any real seduction, any real romance, any real love. Women are complicit in their own seduction. They don't need convincing. There is a yearning in the heart of women that is rarely addressed. They want to be seduced and seduced well, to be caught up in a whirlwind, a romance, an intrigue. Every woman deserves a lover. A woman with a lover is transformed. A woman with a lover is more beautiful than she has ever been and more beautiful than she will ever be. A woman with a lover is always youthful and pretty, no matter her age. Everything about her, her countenance, her complexion, her composure, is more alive, more bright. Her face shines, her step is light. There is something marvelous about her, and no one is quite sure just what it is. They can't quite put their finger on it. Oh, but they can all see it. A blossomed woman draws the gaze of every woman and every man as she walks along the street. Women are waiting to be seduced again, to feel something, anything, for men to show up as men, for men to rediscover their role in the dance of life. Women are secretly cheering for men, wanting them to be excellent, wanting men to know that they are on their side. Please be successful with us. Please be excellent with us. Woo us, seduce us, make us believe again. Women want to be generous to men, and they are. They are massively generous to men who love women, who delight in their desires. Women give. There is no need to take. There is no need for conquering or controlling. This is another thing that most men don't understand. It is not man against women. It is the two of them together against the world. Seduction is a dance, an ancient dance, a timeless dance, a dancing in the moment. That's what it is. Men and women dancing together as they always have, entangled for all time in joy and heartbreak and ecstasy and hope. It is a dance of clarity, of honest communication, and the intricacies of sub-communication. It transcends age, race, everything. It is intuition as an art form. It is ease and delight. It is curiosity. It is gratitude. It is a welcomed hint of danger. It is unrepentant, direct, overt, audacious. It is subtle and elegant. It is joyous, charged, electric, rushing, magnetic, subdued, restrained, intimate, respectful. It is the love of man for women, the love of women for man, the love of ourselves, and the love of life. It is the culmination of all things good, the masculine, the feminine, the divine, everything coalesced, abundant, and in perfect form. Yes, seduction is a dance, a luscious, effusive, sensual, sexual, never-ceasing, sacred dance. I am man, you are woman. Talk to me, tell me things. Think of the tango, the dance of strangers. Is this dance not the very embodiment of seduction? Would we say it is composed of manipulation and lies? No, we would say that the tango is as honest and passionate and broken and beautiful as anything in the whole of our experience. Tango is intimacy. Intimacy between man and woman. Intimacy in the way we used to use that word. A man and a woman aligned, synchronized, charged, and so close together and yet so respectfully distant, without needing to fall over the edge every time. Tango is entire. It contains everything, all the secrets. The man leading, hands high, confidence high, and the woman serene, feeling everything, eyes closed. For 3 minutes, that woman is his and his alone. For 3 minutes, that man holds her dreams, and everyone else be damned. Tango is life. All other dances are entertainment. If a man wants to know how a woman should be experienced, the tango is all he needs. Even a cursory spectator experience will teach him more than all the books and dating advice in the world. You come to see me every day, bringing everything to me. Your love of cooking, your love of good coffee, your love of dancing, your love of painting and art. You bring it all, everything of you, into my presence every day, laid at my feet. You show up before me shining, a true beauty, beauty in my presence, simply because I asked for it. Ours was a meeting of the minds. You, an exotic dancer, an expert at manipulating men, at exploiting them, at using all the nuances of feminine wiles at your disposal, and knowing just how fundamentally weak and pliant men can be in the wake of a resplendent female body. You approached me that night, in the same way you had approached all others before me. And I looked you in the eye and quietly said to you, I am not like other men. You sat beside me then, silent like a bird on a branch in the rain. And I looked at you, and you looked at me, and we stayed like that for a long time, without a word, the layers melting away. I understand your heart, I said to you, and you believed me immediately, in the midst of all that crushed velvet and those crimson lights lights, and you cried a little, and you told me everything, all your stories, all your hurts, all your abandonments, all your betrayals, through all of your life, and how you no longer believed. And I, because I understood your heart, said the only thing I could say. I am right here with you, and I hear every word you are saying. Yes, you have been hurt, and yes, you have been abandoned, and yes, you have been lied to, and yes, you have been betrayed. But not here, not with me, not in the presence of me, not ever. Outside of us, sure, be mistrustful of men if you must, but be wary of men, but not here. Look into my eyes, sweet girl. I don't even know you. I'm leaving Austin in about a month, and I may never see you again. But if I ever do see you again, understand this. I will only see you as maximally beautiful. I will only see you in beauty, from now and forever into the future. And because I do, you will feel beautiful, like the most beautiful woman in the world. Infinitely lovely again. This is my invitation, my promise to you. You are beautiful, never forget it. And so, show up that way. Show up beautiful before me, as the beauty I see. And here you are now, weeks later, coming to see me every day, in a little sundress, absolutely radiant, and absolutely lovely. Beautiful for me, simply because I asked for it. Society heaps a deserved measure of approbation upon so-called pickup artists and one-night-stand cowboys, those who are only looking to score. This makes sense to me, for these men are taking something ineffable from women, giving nothing in return. They are hitmen, contract lovers, a single shot to the head and they disappear into the night. A pickup artist is out to win, to conquer, to take. He has one goal in mind, to get laid. Little consideration is given to his chosen target, for she is interchangeable, just another pawn in his game. Actually having a relationship with a woman? Well, they just haven't thought that far ahead. Pickup artists are like dogs chasing cars. They wouldn't have a clue what to do with one if they caught it. Men who fancy themselves to be players are simply takers. Sure, by trial and error, any man can learn a few tricks, can discover ways to get to first base with a girl, can try for second, and maybe even steal third. And maybe a man's definition of success is the quantity of women he can bed. But what of it? What then? Has he won? Has he conquered? Is he a man? Is she looking back on her encounter with him and smiling to herself the next morning? Is she going about her day in a haze, gazing dreamily out the window and thinking of him, of them? Is she constantly checking her phone to make sure he didn't try to call and somehow she missed it? Is she inspired, alive, swept up in emotions and possibilities? Is she decorated with gladness, adorned in bliss? Does she speak his name softly to herself, like a sacred incantation? Will she cherish the encounter with him for the rest of her days? If not, then what was the point? Yes, he got laid, but what has he gained? There is an entire doctrine out there of pushing through a woman's resistance. If the pickup artist's stainless steel technique is precise enough, or his onslaught of words is strong enough, or coercive enough, or confusing enough, she will eventually give in, and the seduction will be complete. Men of this ilk congratulate themselves on their prowess, and at how skillful they were to get another lay. This isn't seduction. This is psychological warfare, wearing down a girl's resistance until she is bone-weary and it is easier to give in than to continue to resist. Where is her delight in all this? Where is her breathless excitement? Where is her chance to wake up in the morning beside him, all happy and shy and cuddly? These men, or let's call them what they are, boys, don't care about any of this. They trample about all over the place like a field they deprive of vital nutrients, scorched earth, taking advantage of a woman's openness. She is led to believe one thing and discovers another. And when it happens, she is saddened a little more and her belief in men dies a little more. These soi-disant ladies' men play with emotions, play with hearts, play little boy games. They manipulate endlessly and they end up hurting hopes and muddying the waters for the rest of us. A real man never takes. His only desire is to share, to inspire, to beautify the experiences of himself and everyone around him. His ecstasy is derived solely from her ecstasy. If she doesn't feel like a queen, he doesn't feel like a king. A boy makes his girlfriend jealous of other women. A man makes other women jealous of his girl. A real man is not motivated by quantity, scratching triumphant the number of his conquests on the bedpost. His motivation is quality, not quantity. He believes that all women deserve passion, and he knows they are not getting it from the men they are involved with. By seeking beauty in men, he corrects this imbalance, creating a kind of poetry with her, a connection, a magnetic attraction that is impossible for either of them to ignore or forget. He has love affairs, yes, but never conquests. We are responsible for our impact. When a woman trusts a man enough to open her body, her emotions, and her heart to him, well, that is a profound thing. That is something that can never be taken lightly. She has entrusted him, in a way, with her soul. She has said to him, I give to you a part of myself, A romance artist will cradle her heart song and her emotions in his hands, holding her up to the sky, setting her so gently upon a cloud, ready to catch her if she falls. He dare not let her fall, for he will damage her heart and her future dealings with men, and she trusts him not to. There is something sacred here. Some might infer from my words that women are frothy, emotional creatures that need saving, and if so, they are spectacularly missing the point. Women don't need saving, not by me or anyone else. Women are remarkably resilient. They simply want to be in the presence of men who see them as equals, who see them as lovely, who are authentic, who don't play games, who represent something, anything. Men who stand on this earth as men, romance artists, dance partners, lovers of women, real men. There have been countless times when I am talking to a pretty girl and I know I can have her in my bed. I can see it in her eyes, in the way she touches her neck, in the way she plays with her hair. I can feel it in the air. All I have to say is one or two little words and she is mine. And yet, I just shake her hand and smile and tell her it was nice to meet her and I get the hell away. Why do I turn away from her? I don't know. Sometimes I just can't be bothered, I guess. I look into her eyes and there was no mystery there. It's like I've been there before, if you know what I mean. Like, I already know everything about her, the way she is, the way it will be with her. I know, just by looking into her eyes and observing the way she carries herself, exactly how she will feel in my hands, exactly how she will smell, exactly how she will taste. For I have been there before. I have smelled her before. I have tasted her before. I have heard her stories 1,000 times on other lips. I have already touched her body in every conceivable way. I already know what position she prefers. I already know if she will be animated in bed or if she will just lie there on her back and starfish. I look at her and, well, she is so sweet and she is so kind and I have nothing for her, nothing to give to her, no words to say to her. I can't even take one step toward her. It's like the restaurant is open and I am hungry and I have money, but I just can't be bothered to go inside. Shakespeare wrote, "She's beautiful and therefore to be wooed. She is a woman and therefore to be won." What more can I say? Is that not enough motivation and reason right there? And yet I turn away. Spinoza suggested that a hatchet, when not in the hands of a carpenter, ceases to be a hatchet. It is only a hatchet, imbued with hatchetness in its utility as a hatchet. What does that make me? What kind of lover turns away from a woman? What kind of womanizer doesn't womanize? What am I to do? Am I just bored? Who knows? We never notice a spoon until it is bent. A wise woman once said to me, "The only thing that gets you hard these days is your purpose." Oh, beautiful wise woman, it's so true. I am too caught up in my relentless pursuit of beauty to ever dabble. Look away from mediocrity, for it is catching. I see you there, across the room, through the crowd. My friend is saying something to me and the other women flow by, but oh, let him talk, and oh, let them flow, for all is ignored. I only see you. These are the moments I live for, snapshots of beauty, swatches of grace. A stare without staring, a smile and a nod to my friend. Slowly it dawns on him that I am not listening to him in the slightest, nor shall I. He stops talking and follows my gaze to see what I see. And what I see is you, my lustrous-eyed lover. Oh yes, I do. Lover? But we haven't even met yet. Yes, well, and at this exact same moment in time, as if summoned, you glance in my direction. A dreamy, wandering softness, a sweeping pass across the room and me, and then a pause, and back to me. 1,000, 1,000, and now down and away. Yes, you see me too, my scintillating Titian goddess, and now you know. Women have a sense of abundance when it comes to sex. A woman can walk into a bar or a lounge and be reasonably assured that someone there would agree to go home with her. Most men do not have this sense of sexual availability, this sense of abundance. They hope it might happen. This is why they call it getting lucky, because they are surprised most of the time when it happens. Because women can have sex whenever they want, because they can have that guy and that guy and that guy, they tend to look for something different, something beyond the crowd. They look for and rarely find a man of excellence, and an experience that is transcendent, connected, meaningful. What's interesting is that the more sexual abundance a man has, the more he becomes like a woman. He begins to view the world with the same weary, yearning eyes of a woman. A simple sexual experience is always an option, and because it is always an option, it is no longer an option. He sees women all around, and yet he, like a woman, looks for something more. I also find it interesting that a woman will not have sex with someone she doesn't like. A surprisingly large percentage of men will. A man might find a woman's personality grating or her attitude insipid, but if he is horny enough, and no one will ever know, why not? Isn't the desire for a one-night stand essentially a desire for mediocrity? Because if the other really is that great, wouldn't we want to see them again? If I am interested enough in a woman to want her in my bed, then I will want to see her again. I have no desire to become physical with a woman if I can't experience her fully. I want to delight in her aspect, in her mind, not just her body. I don't want or need just sex. I've been there many times before, and the landscape can be, at times, bland and boring. Instead, I need to commit to her and the experience freely, entirely, without suppressing myself in any way, even if it is only for one night. Sex with a random woman I don't really care about. Well, isn't that just glorified masturbation? As Hunter S. Thompson wrote, sex without love is just as hollow and ridiculous as love without sex. A one-night stand is just plain old gymnastics, a workout, hanging onto the ceiling fan and spinning around and all that. And then what? Wake up in the morning with the overwhelming urge to chew off my arm like the proverbial coyote in a trap rather than wake her up. The walk of shame? No, not for me. Might as well go to bed with a magazine. My constancy is the highest constancy. I am faithful above all men. Others might think I am afraid of commitment, but my commitment is the loftiest commitment. Because some men don't want a commitment, they only seek out one-night stands. For me, the opposite is true. Because I don't want a commitment, I stay away from one-night stands. For what shall I do with her tomorrow? I can't just flounce away like nothing happened. Ah, who am I kidding? If a woman is sweet and kind and she crawls into my bed, well, hey, everyone stand back. I am still a gunslinger. I have only one gear, forward, and only one speed, fast. I love the succulence of a woman's body more than just about anything in this world. I never meditate to recharge. Women are my meditation. A woman's body is a sacred temple that I have worshipped at for years, a place of meditation that quiets my soul and infuses my heart with clarity and joy. But I won't expend any effort whatsoever to try to pick her up or convince her or chase her down just to get in her pants. I understand, of course, that sometimes men and women just want to have a physical fling with no strings attached, recreational sex, a little fun with no emotional attachment. In a perfect world, everything is clearly implied and clearly inferred. There is an understanding and everyone knows the score, but it is one thing to have a one-night stand. It is another thing to spend a night together. A single night and nothing more. Oh, but that's not a one-night stand. Not at all. It's just that sometimes the twin villainy of logistics and circumstances whirl us away from each other before we are ready to be whirled away from each other. Ah, but the time with her was real as any there ever was. An exhilarating and momentous celebration, a memorable occasion, and although we would have loved to continue the dance with each other, it just wasn't meant to be. Oh, how many moments glisten in my memory like jewels in a tiara. Nights with women who possess that rare and wonderful feminine spirit that I adore. So yes, a woman who inspires me and makes me laugh, whose mind is a delight to me, whose spirit stirs and excites me, who smells absolutely wonderful, I want her. Right then and there, I want her. I have known the perfumed pillow of many a pretty girl, the kind of girl that men desire. Now I look for something more, something behind the eyes. The way she looks to me, the smell of her hair, and the curve of her body are all part of the attraction, of course, but her spirit, her mind, her mystique, oh, that is another level completely. I need to desire her mind as much as her body. No, even more than her body. I need to desire her very essence. There is a light that shines from within a certain woman, a nurturing light that washes over the hearts of men, cleansing them, baptizing them in a way. In her presence, all is forgiven. What calm radiance! What a gift of grace! This is the only thing that I desire from a woman, the only thing that makes me pause, the only thing that makes me look at her and wonder what is possible with her. It has nothing to do with her outward appearance, and everything to do with her transcendent, iridescent, natural beauty. When I encounter a woman like this, I love her so much, I would do anything for her. Well, almost anything. You understood no English, and I no Portuguese, and I muddled along in Spanish, which helped not at all, and you smiled in golden sunlight before me on the sand. And you danced and laughed before me with parted lips and parted legs, and you feathered a long and silken cloth through your fingers and around your lissom waist and into the air, and around like a ballerina. And the sun of Ipanema smiled down proud upon us and bathed us like children and beamed upon us as if she loved it. Do you remember that day, the night of dreams, Valeria? You love your country with an incandescent longing in the way that all Brazilians do. And I could see it in the way you breathed and moved and touched the earth that day, like you couldn't get enough of it, and you wanted to consume it, and it amazes me still, your fierce love of Brazil. And it seems to me that Brazilians are the greatest patriots in all the world. Rich, poor, saint, thief, it doesn't matter. They all love their country so much. And sunset and sunrise converge, and day and night are one, and the people worship their sun, and the land of Bossa Nova and Bunda settles into its beloved and raucous rhythm. I watched as you danced before me on the sand, with your caramel skin and adamantine eyes, and I, too, wanted to consume you and everything around me and in Brazil. And every now and then, all these years later, this image of you in the sun suffuses upon my picturesque reverie. I tripped through my dreams toward you and your several secret smiles. I will never forget the moment when the sun began to set that day, how in the precise instant that it first knelt to kiss the horizon, everything paused, the sea, the sand, the lovers, the sky, and all stood and faced toward the benevolent sun setting, and the decades-old ritual began anew, with the entire beach clapping and cheering and thanking the sun, grateful for the day and the warmth and the goodness bestowed. And you, O daughter of Brazil, disheveled and barefoot and wild and free, dancing beside the opalescent ocean, in that golden moment with your golden hair, around and into the air like a slow-motion dream. Yes, that was a pretty moment. Mellifluous time flow over me and cleanse me of her smile. A pretty moment indeed. Surround me with your dulcet calm, and hide me for a while. There is nothing a woman can do or say that will make me stay. Women want promises of promises, and I am not a promise of anything. You want to buy my heart, but it is already sold. In order to go out with you, I would have to break up with me. And no, I am too caught up in my own ridiculous notions of freedom and romance and adventure. Even though I have been looking for you all my life, my love, in everything and in every place, no matter how close I come to you, no matter how many times I find you, I cannot stay. No matter how much I desire you, no matter how much my heart yearns for you, ah, my dear, my darling one, I must go. And I will adore you for the rest of my days. The writer Evelyn Underhill described it like this. He goes because he must, as Galahad went towards the Grail, knowing that for those who can live it, this alone is life. Do you feel the weight of that, my love? The truth of that? Maybe you will never understand, but this is my truth. I go because I must. Something out there calls me, something ineffable, and that call is far more important to me than any desire for you. My heart is caught up in a myriad of possibilities and impossibilities. I must go away upon the sea. Is it possible to completely and utterly love someone, even though you know it will end, and even though you know there will be others? A woman stroking my hair is profound, yes, but can just about anyone do it? Who knows? It is a wonderful thing to encounter a great desire that is devoid of neediness. I think profundity has its own completion point, which does not require permanence. I don't know. Maybe it is impossible to teach that to a woman. Maybe she has to experience it for herself. The future is always great intentions and nothing more. The only commitment I can honestly give is to be fully present, fully engaged, fully real, a promise to stay true to myself and to never misrepresent. This, my love, is the only way a relationship can last. There are those who will analyze what I say and do. It is obvious, they will say. He is the little lost boy, and they will say. He is seeking unconditional love from women, they will say. He is seeking approval from mother, they will say. He wants to be the charming boy who can do no wrong, they will say. I don't mind. Go ahead and categorize me. Figure me out. Analyze away. Assign me my Jungian archetype. I accept. Or create for me a new one. Perhaps for what am I really? A king, a warrior, a wizard, a lover? Who knows? Who cares? I'm just laying it out there, presenting the light I have been given, flatly, without comment. Well, actually, with a great deal of comment. Will this ever change? Will I ever just someday stay? Sure, why not? I morph. I change. But not because of the opinions of others. I will never artificially attempt to correct some supposed imbalance in my soul just to align myself with society. I hearken to criticism, but blithely ignore judgment. I err consistently on the side of optimism. I love life. I love women. I love love. This is the only nobility of my character. For everything else, bind me to the mast and administer the lash. I can take it. What kind of man does not stay, my love? Let us simplify and suppose there are two kinds. The first kind is the man who simply will not commit because of his fears. Fears of intimacy, of rejection, of showing his true self, that sort of thing. He doesn't mean to hurt a woman. In fact, he doesn't mean to run away at all. He really does enter the relationship with the best of intentions. But when the intimacy that is required and the opening of his heart that is required overwhelm him, he runs away. Or he sabotages the relationship, attacking it internally, until she finally leaves him. Even though he doesn't know it, this man is afraid of commitment, and everything that commitment implies in our spectacularly uncommitted era. He's not a bad guy. He's sincere but misguided. And now she is sad and frustrated and feels like she wasted all that time in her life and must begin all over again. The second kind of man is a man who plays with her heart. He has his fun with no regard for her. He promises all kinds of things, then runs away, laughing. Though he never tells her, he has no intention of staying, or giving of himself in any way. Instead he takes, he manipulates. He is not truthful, either to himself or to her. He has no core strength, no masculinity, no conviction, and no empathy. In fact, he is afraid of women. He may not even like them. He simply uses them in an attempt to validate himself, to show off to other men, to prove something to himself and to the world. He uses them, tires of them, then dumps them when something better comes along. This man dishonors all men. He is a coward. His failure as a man is complete, and now she is angry at him and disgusted with herself that she fell for it all over again. I am simplifying, as I always do, a complex concept, but I think we can agree that society pretty much lumps all men who do not stay in the category of cad. These men are examined under a microscope and automatically and immediately proclaimed to have a fear of commitment. After all, they say, if a man is not afraid, then surely he will commit to a woman. He will not abandon, he will not abuse, he will not misrepresent. He is a well-balanced man, and a well-balanced man always stays. But is this true in every case? Can we imagine another perspective that might be equally true? Is there perhaps a third kind of man who does not stay? For what shall he do with all the iconoclasts, the dreamers, and the treasure hunters of the world? The men who are not a part of the madding crowd. Imagine the heart of a man like this, my love. He goes because he must, because he is caught up in something greater, something ineluctable, something wondrous that calls his name, something that draws him ever onward to all his magnificent horizons. Simply stated, he must go. So now, is this a bad thing? Is it possible that his love of adventure and freedom is simply stronger, more ebullient, more exhilarating, and more alive than any desire to stay? Could it be that this man has no fear of commitment at all? Could it be that his commitment is the highest form of commitment, a commitment to the truth that is his truth? Could it be that a woman knows in her heart that, contrary to other men, he will never leave her, even if he must go? A true lover of women never misrepresents. He never truly takes. He only shares. He shares his heart with her fully. He shares his vulnerability with her fully. He shares a relationship with her that transcends all relationships she has ever had with other men. It is honest, pure, giving, and passionate. His desire to stay is strong, but his desire to go is stronger. He must go, for this is his full truth, his full heart, his full vulnerability. He is not running away at all. He believes in her. He loves her. But he must go. He knows that if he stays, if he quiets his spirit for her, if he calms the warrior in him, it will slowly kill his heart, kill the light in his eyes, and just as surely kill her desire for him. And though she won't admit it, in her heart she knows this as well, for this is the very thing she loves about him. A woman wants it both ways. This is what leads to all the heart-rending. She is attracted to the valiant, exciting, feral heart of the adventurer, but once she catches hold of him, she tries to tame him, domesticate him, settle him down, and once he is stuffed and mounted, she has inadvertently quieted the very essence in him she loves the most. A woman can never change a real man. He can only change of his own volition. He can only change because he chooses it, because he looks at her and thinks, yes, this is where my heart lies. She can, however, change a weak man. He will change just to please her, because he is too insipid and too timid and too bland to do anything else. Just go with the flow. Creeping compromise. We enter into relationships to try to feel better about ourselves, but we are not really committed to it. We climb into the nearest boat simply because we are tired of paddling alone. We loll around in the doldrums, looking for a clean way out, a better boat, for the wind to pick up. Even sexual intercourse is domesticated, negotiated, negated, scheduled, compromised, with the whole sordid affair dwindling away into nothingness. Sexual desire giving way to a kind of sexual despair. Man was once wild and free, a lover, a fighter, a rocker. Woman sets out to tame him, and the most she succeeds, she resents him. The truth is, women love the spirit of the untamed stallion. They love to see him run free, just not too far. They want him to love the smell of the grass and the clover, but in this nice, fenced-in area. They want him to prance and caper with easy stride, yes, but over here. No woman wants a dispirited, broke-back horse plodding along behind her on a string. She wants him to be tamed, yes, but not broken. She wants him to love to be near her always, but to never lose the spirit of the West in his soul. We think that women have a monopoly on the desire for romance, but it's not just the women. Why do men do anything in this world? Why do they build the Taj Mahal? Why do they go to sea? Why do they write a sonata? Why do they cry over a painting? Given the myriad of choices, why do they choose this pair of shoes rather than that pair of shoes? Why do they do any of these things? For fame? For money? For power? No, they do it all for romance. which is to say they do it for their dreams, for relevance in their lives, for meaning. Locke said, beasts abstract not. In other words, humans are the only romantic ones. We are all starved for romance, for seduction, for passion. We want it so badly that it makes us cry. Oh, how we yearn for a romantic path through our days, for relevance in our lives, for our lives to have an impact. Our hearts ache to be caught up in something greater than ourselves, to be seduced, to seduce others and ourselves, to desire something, anything, so much that we would die for it. This is the essence of romance, and we try so hard to find it. We scatter about this earth to every wind, pursuing an infinite number of endeavors, pursuing fulfillment of the romantic yearnings of our hearts, getting lost in whims, choosing this pair of shoes rather than that pair of shoes. We are all starved for romance. It is the fight of our lives. And where is it? Where is romance? Where is seduction? Where is passion? Where are men of grace and purpose? Why do men apologize for being men? Where is the spirit of men? Where are the treasure hunters, the adventurers, the heroes? Where are the real men? These are the questions women everywhere are asking, and men are not. We used to believe in adventure. We dreamed of treasure as boys, of rescuing the princess, did we not? And where is it today? Our desire for adventure has been replaced with obligations. Our desire for treasure has been replaced with the accumulation of needless things. Our excitement and audacity have been replaced with hesitation and apologies. Our fun and play have been replaced with cynicism and manipulation. Our masculine edge has been replaced with a cloying niceness. It's like we're not even the protagonists of our own story anymore. And the women? Whatever happened to grace? Lost in the darkness, I am afraid. Everywhere are women in short skirts and perfect outfits and perfect makeup, dancing and prancing on tables and runways. We see female shapes and forms all around us, yet so little femininity. Hairs, lips, and breasts can all be purchased, but that's not femininity. That's renovations. Where is the essence and the tenderness of the feminine? Where are the beauties, the courtesans, the muses, the nurturers, strong and caring, lovely and radiant? In our culture, true femininity and true masculinity are as rare as ghost orchids. We are completely uneducated about our greatest gifts, our authenticity, our passion, our romantic hearts.